Leeds United made the most of their second chance in the European Cup against Stuttgart, the team they say has more foreign reserves than the Bank of England. Leeds won 2-1 in Barcelona in front of a tiny crowd. Their hero was Shutt. He scored the winner less than a minute after coming on as a substitute, and tomorrow's his birthday.
Hello and welcome to episode 167 of the Talking Shutt podcast. For those of you tuning in on YouTube and the other streaming platforms that we do, you will see that the impact that Bielsa has had on the Talking Shutt team with us running such a small squad is laid bare today. We are on bare bones because we've got a few absentees, one very late failed fitness test in Gaz. So it's just myself, and I'm joined with Ben as well.
Hey, yep.
Thanks for joining me, because I would not have been good flying solo on my own. Definitely not. So
no, me neither.
So at least we've got each other. So yeah, I think it was with all the injuries that Leeds have been having in the last few weeks. I think it's probably
it's quite fitting, really, isn't it?
It is quite fitting. But yeah, how are you, Ben?
Yeah, not bad. Can't complain. Okay? Been enjoying a bit of the early Champions League games this evening. Yeah, and yeah,
good stuff. Ready to talk about some Leeds United?
Yeah, good to have another 3 points.
Yes, yeah. And well, let's start with that, Because pressing matters. I was absent last week, so obviously the build up and I'm looking through the prediction spreadsheet, and everyone was obviously confident last week on a Leeds United victory. By the time it came around to 2:00 on Sunday, were you feeling as confident, especially with the way some of the results had gone the previous day, with obviously Burnley usurping us and knocking us into the relegation zone by the time we kicked off at Carrow Road? How were you thinking? How were you feeling?
It was a bad weekend for us, wasn't it? Like a really bad weekend. Everything that sort of could go wrong that we can't, that we weren't involved with, pretty much went wrong.
Yeah, I think obviously Newcastle got beat.
Yeah, well,
but I think that was I was going to say that looked like
awful.
A foregone conclusion anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah, with Burnley winning and
Watford win as well.
Certainly didn't. I can't remember. I think they.
Watford lost to Southampton.
Oh yes, yeah. So actually, it wasn't too bad.
Burnley beat Brentford.
I mean, dropping into the relegation zone by the time we played Norwich kind of put even a little bit more pressure on. I should imagine in what was, although it was only the 10th game of the season for Leeds, what was already a must-win game, really. So, were you confident when you saw the team? What were you thinking?
I think as confident as you can have been. I think I'd rather Drama started. Right. So I thought he deserved that. But then it was a bit sort of, what are we doing sort of going forward? Because I think we started with like Harrison up front. And for me, I mean, it's worth having a go at that. But I think it was pretty obvious that wasn't going to work. And I just don't understand why Joffrey's had a good sort of couple of weeks. Why wouldn't you just play Joffrey? He's a number 9. Play number 9 in the number 9 spot. He maybe he needs to learn a bit more on the pressing or something like that. But I think it was the best sort of opportunity to put him in. Then you can always take him out if it wasn't working. Yeah.
I was contacted by one of my mates who's a Sunderland fan actually during the week, and he was obviously trying to work out his fantasy team, and he was like, he was saying, I've got Geldat on my bench. Will he start? Should I put him in? And I said, you know what? I think he should start, but he won't start.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the confidence, and I didn't think he would. When I saw the lineup, I thought we might try what we did against certainly for the beginning part of the game and against Wolves, and have Dan James up there. He seems to be
I thought exactly the same.
Higher up, and so much so that I put my Bet365
but even
free bet on 2 goals for Dan James.
That would have made more sense as well, because like you put him up against someone like Grant Hanley, who turns like a tanker.
Yeah,
it'd have been perfect for Dan James, getting Dan James in behind.
Yeah.
That's that again was sort of a bafflement. That's how I saw it when it came out. I thought, if Dan James is up front here, that's all right. With then Rodrigo sort of playing around the 10 kind of thing. But it really sort of stumped me when he put Harrison up there.
Yeah, I must admit, I saw the team. Yeah, I kind of was the same. Looked at it, was wondering how we were going to line up. But it was good to see Rafinha back in, and obviously not miss much football following what could have been quite a nasty injury against Wolves. And obviously Calvin was back, so just one of them really. Put a bit more pressure on the game. It was already a must-win. Then we kick off, and I don't know at what point it was, but our group chat was incredibly quiet, and I think I broke the silence. And I think it was about 20 minutes in, and I think the exact wording was, "This is fucking shite."
Yeah.
And because it really was. I mean, Norwich are a bad side, and I think I think they showed that. Obviously, they were coming off a hiding, and with Chelsea against Chelsea, and they were back at home, and you'd want them to show a kind of reaction. But I think we made them even look better than anything the way we played.
Than what they are, we kept giving them opportunities, and we were just giving the ball away. Yeah. And this is the thing. I guess it's been like it a lot of times this season so far, that we just don't seem to be doing the things that Leeds United have done in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And is it just down to that we are bare bones and we've not got players in their positions? And it sort of goes back onto what I was saying about playing Gelhardt up front. Play people in their positions.
Yeah.
Because you've got Jamie Shackleton, who's a midfielder, playing at right back. You then have Dallas, who's a winger midfielder, or wherever Dallas plays, at left back. Yeah. And I think that's a big thing in how Harrison isn't as confident at the moment. Because when he plays the proper left back, like even with Firpo, you could see a bit of sort of a combination going there.
Yeah.
And like when he played Valioski, and Harrison was at his best when he got the time to sort of bring the ball down and get an early crossing. Yep. And that has always been, we've said it many times on here.
Most effective way, hasn't it?
Yeah. And he doesn't do that at the moment. And is it because you've got players pretty much playing all over the shop?
I mean, like you say, it is hard to put your finger on it at the minute. I mean, you look at a typical type of Leeds United goal, especially the Championship seasons, and it was wing backs, wasn't it, or full backs?
Yeah.
Being that last runner, when was the last time we scored a goal like that? When was the last time we scored a big overlap, down the wings and then switching it across, and you've got the other full back on the other side tapping it in at the back post? It's not happened at all this season, no. And we're 10 games into the league.
Well, you look at,
obviously it doesn't. Go on, you're right.
Alioski scored a couple of goals last year from that.
Exactly.
Maybe it was the sort of the latter ends of the game, and our fitness sort of shone through, and he was there to do that. I think it was definitely one against West Brom. There was one at home, maybe Newcastle, that Alioski scored in the last few minutes. And we're not seeing any of that, are we? We're not seeing them getting forward. And I think it's really, as much as we said the middle is a problem, and it has been a problem, I think a second sort of problem is at fullback as well.
Yeah.
Because you don't have Ayling bringing the ball out like he does and playing 1-2s and getting round people and then supporting. And the same on the left. We've not had the proper fullback yet of a couple of games, wasn't it? And then I hope Firpo's back soon. So that
was an interesting one, because Bielsa said he was ready for selection in his press conference, whenever that was. I think it was Friday morning, and he didn't even make the bench. So whether or not
did he play a half an hour in the 23s on Friday night?
Right. Well, maybe he's had a reaction to that or whatever. But It was a shame, but yeah, I think it doesn't help. Building up those sort of attacks where you're linking up a lot of play and getting fullbacks and that bombing forward. Obviously, still requires you to keep hold of the ball, and that's something we're really struggling with. And for us not to be able to do that against a really poor Norwich side, it's not going to help. But I'm worried. I am worried about playing some of the better sides now with just the way that we're playing, because we were talking off air just before we started this. It's don't want this podcast to be a real negative one and us go in at the team, but I was really disappointed on Sunday with the level of performance, and we won the game. And at the end of the day, it's one of them. It's we scored 2, they scored 1. We get the 3 points. We move forward. We move on up the league with 3 points clear of 18th. But the performance is enough to worry me at this stage.
I guess in the grand scheme of things, nobody will ever look back at Norwich and winning 2-1 and think, "Oh, we didn't play well there."
No. But we
got the win.
Yeah.
But with how we are as Leeds United, and Leeds United have, like we said, they've been for the last 3 years, the performance is sort of everything to what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first, so the Rafinha goal, I think I was that seething from how we were playing. I don't think I even celebrated.
Yeah.
I was just annoyed. Like, I didn't feel like celebrating because it was just annoying.
Sure.
And it was a good goal. It was a brilliant goal for us to score. And
but individually and absolutely. Well, actually, not just individually. The finish and how he makes that is a fantastic bit of individual skill, and props are in for a triple nutmeg on the finish as well. But the build-up play to it, it's a fantastic. Stewart gets his head up. He plays a great ball into Dan James. Dan James is with a really clever pass as well into Rafinha. But other than that, especially up to that point of the game, that seemed to be our only attacking outlet. It was just wherever possible, get it to the right-hand side. Get Rafinha.
Give it to Rafinha,
Give it to Rafinha. Everything else was just second to that. And it was
and
like,
we kind of
give him the ball and just do it. Just do something. Do some magic.
Yeah.
And he did on that occasion. And it's great. You go 1-0 up. But, you
can't become reliant on that.
Exactly. We can't. We really
can't. And we can't. I guess we're going. There's a bit of a sort of thing going around that Leeds United is just Rafinha. If Rafinha doesn't do anything, then you've beaten Leeds United. Mm-hmm. And then that's when you get teams like Wolves doing what they did to Rafinha, that leaving one on him, and then he's out for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Because maybe if Rafinha was, as much as we're saying we don't want that, if he was playing the full game for Wolves and the pressure we put on them, do we go and win that if he's playing?
Potentially, yeah. Absolutely. The way they were playing, So, it was a really difficult one. We've done that. Rafinha, great bit of skill. We go 1-0 up, and then, I mean, what's going on there to concede so quickly afterwards?
Did we make a sub then? I've got it in my. I'm just going to double check this. I've got a feel it did.
I don't know whether we made a sub at that point.
I'm just trying to think.
You checked the timeline.
No, we didn't.
It was pretty instantaneous, and then just a really sloppy.
It was
Melier just kicked it out of. He didn't even look
out of play. No,
he was going back to Shackleton in the right back position, but didn't really lift his head up, and he just kicked it straight out for a corner.
Straight out of play and give him the free kick, the corner kick. Yeah, I think Llorente lost the.
And then Llorente,
the defender.
So it's a free header, basically. Good header, good finish, underside of the bar and all that kind of stuff. But after all that, and again, as a fan, just so frustrating, a really frustrating watch.
You can't be going and doing that.
Yeah, you can't just give them back the goal.
Yeah, in a game like that where we aren't playing well.
Yeah.
And to then give a soft, I'd say soft, it was well worked from Norwich, but a soft goal to then.
Well, they haven't earned that kick, have they? They haven't done that.
No.
And it was very frustrating. But then, if you were sat here and you were a Norwich fan, you've got to be seething that they've then done the exact same to us not that long after with the goal that Rodrigo scores, because pretty much give us that goal. I mean, I'm not.
But that really it came from nothing, didn't it? It
came from absolutely nothing. It's a long.
I think there's a few times he'd done that in the first half, and I think when he went to go do it, I thought, what's he doing again? It was like stupid things where I think there was one in the first half where he sort of cut inside, and he's a good 35 yards out, sort of on an angle as well, and he's just had a go because he could have waited for people to join the sort of the attack for that. He had space and time, and he's just gone for it. And I guess it was just one of them things again. He's just gone for it, and it's worked this one time.
Yeah,
I think that was the annoying thing. As much as you're celebrating that we've scored a good goal, it kind of, you look back at it and think we've got away with that really because of a poor goalkeeping error. Because a Premier League goalkeeper should be stopping that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean,
and yeah, them sort of stupid. I'd class it as a stupid sort of movement or an idea to try and score from there.
Yeah,
it's not what we do. Like, and back to that as well. It's not how we've played.
No, and also you would think, especially you've got to play the percentages as well. You've got to think that the vast majority of times you trying that against Premier League goalkeepers, they're keeping that out all day long. It takes it should take a special effort from that far out to hit the back of the net.
You've got to be in
effort, but it's still at the back of the net. So
top or bottom corners with some pace to for a keeper not to get it. But we get away with that one. And
but I mean, it was a double whammy of delightment. Obviously, Leeds taking the lead, and obviously seeing Tim Krul concede a goal because I have a very irrational hatred of the man. So it was good. I think I put something on. Should have wrote that on his water bottle. Can use your hands. Hey Tim, you can use your hands. I mean, the rest of the performances, I think there were some poor individual performances. I don't think, across the board. To be honest, I mean, I don't want to kind of point any fingers really, but I'm sure a few of them will have been trudging off the field at the end of the play, not thinking that they probably didn't put the best 90 minutes out there.
Yeah,
would you agree?
I don't think you can sort of single anyone out for being really bad. There were just a lot of not good enough performances all the way around, and you could go everywhere with that. Maybe bar Rafinha, maybe Rodrigo, because they both scored, and I think that's it really. Maybe Cooper had a decent enough game. Yeah. But then, the mistakes, and then just the silly stuff we do, and I'm going back to it again, the stuff that we don't do. Yeah. There's been a few things this season where Dallas has done this little really weird back heel, and it all came out last week, the problems Dallas has had, and maybe his head's not right and stuff like that, and fair enough. But it's not just Dallas. There's silly things. Like there was a run by Dan James, and he's got all the pace in the world. He's beating any Norwich defender that's there because them three defenders are out the fastest. But then he stopped and cut back. And I'm thinking, why are you doing that? Just go on your own. You've beaten for pace. It's 1-on-1. If you miss, you miss. Yeah. But don't stop and give them the chance to tackle you.
Absolutely.
And just the basic things like that we just don't seem to be doing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's the worrying bit of the performance.
Yeah. I mean, you have that across the board. I mean, I don't think Calvin had a good game at all. And we know how important his performances are to the way we tick. I'm sure as well.
And with how Calvin plays, I think we saw it a bit in the game before, where he makes a mistake. It was the Arsenal game. He makes a mistake and then he goes looking to make up for it, and then ends up giving a foul and kicking someone.
Yeah,
and that sort of was how his game went as well, in a way that he made a few mistakes early on, and he's probably a bit rusty because he's been out injured. But then that kind of leads on to a poor performance for Calvin sometimes. Just as before I forget, Ben Ben Tillertson's just said Struijk had a good game. Struijk was brilliant, actually.
Yeah.
The one player you could probably say was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one pass, like a volley pass, out to
Rafinha.
That was brilliant.
Yeah, that was sex. No, he played well. What you said there about giving fouls away and stuff like that, I think there was a lot of guilty of that, not just Calvin. It was a good job they were playing that Kieran Dowell, to be honest, because he had probably one of the worst set-piece deliveries I think I've ever seen in the Premier League. I mean, they were just awful. I mean, and it was one of them. Every time you're thinking, don't give away a sloppy free kick in and around, our final third. And it was like, every time he just hoofed it out of play, it was just fantastic. So
I think I did see a stat on that. There was 23 fouls, and I think that's the most anyone's done in a Premier League game. Something like that. It might be. I can't remember.
Right.
Or was it the Calvin Phillips one where Calvin?
Oh, I saw that one. He'd been
run past
10 times, and 6 of them was in that game.
Yeah, that were it. Yeah.
I mean,
and that's quite a lot, bad, to be fair.
That does say a lot.
Yeah.
It does say a lot. But ultimately, bit of game management towards the end with obviously with Forshaw coming on, maybe rather than like an attacking player like maybe we've done in the past. And there was even a moment towards the very end where we didn't kind of hit them, on a quick counter attack, and we actually played the ball backwards. And is that something a little bit different? I know at this point we're 2-1 up rather than 1-1 against like the likes of West Ham and everything like that. But maybe that just kind of showed maybe the importance of sticking kind of the foot on the ball at the minute and making sure that was we got the fuck out of Dodge with the 3 points. Do you think?
Yeah,
I thought
and Harrison started at centre forward and then ended up at left back.
Yeah,
which I don't think many things like that happen in the Premier League.
No, I don't think Alan Shearer ever ended up in a game at left back. Do you?
No.
Or Mark Viduka. So I mean, like I say, it's one of them. It's easy to look back at the end of the season and we'll probably forget about completely. But I wasn't happy.
No.
I think I tweeted as soon as the final whistle blew, thank fuck that was over, because it wasn't nice to watch. It was frustrating. It was hard. It was hard to watch at times. It was, but ultimately we got the 3 points and everything like that. I put a little comment in the running notes. I don't know if you've seen it. Could Norwich do worse than Derby in the 07-08 season? Derby, obviously, that's the record for the worst Premier League point haul of the season. They got 11 points in a 38-game season, winning 1, drawing 8. Obviously, Norwich haven't won yet. We're 10 games in, so we're over a quarter of the way through it. Only 2 points. On that performance, from what we've seen of them, could they do even worse than Derby?
I don't see where they get any sort of wins from. Like, if we're considering that we were 17th in the league when we played them, then they want to be looking to get points off teams like us.
Yeah.
I think there's only really Newcastle, them and Newcastle, that could do that. I mean, Watford, maybe after we played them, I thought that they could go down.
Yeah.
But I think they'll put up a good fight with Ranieri now. They've got some good results. And yeah, they'll be fighting for it. They probably could still go down. Maybe they aren't quite good enough, but yeah, they'll put out more than the fight than I thought they would do.
Yeah.
But yeah, Norwich don't seem to have. I mean, did they seem like they had some fight against us?
Because I would say that I would argue that in the first half they seemed more up for it than us. That's my argument.
I thought that, but we didn't make that.
That's what I mean. and they also
Yeah,
didn't make
we
that
helped
pay.
with that.
We helped with that, and they also didn't make that pay. And
No.
that's the other thing. I mean, the other thing is they'd scored 2 goals in the Premier League up to obviously, they scored a third against us. Where are their goals coming from? It's they've got to be worried. They've got to be worried with, and for us to go down there, play poorly, in my opinion, and still come away with all 3 points. That's that's got to be, almost like the writing's on the wall for them. So yeah,
and we covered it a bit sort of last week. That if you were Norwich, would you sort of accept? I mean, for me, as not a Norwich fan, looking at other Premier League teams and how they're sort of setting up for the season, you'd think that the way Norwich have spent and stuff like that, you think that they were sort of building a side to go down.
Yeah,
they were sort of buying younger players who are going to have a good year in the Premier League, learning against Premier League sides, to then come back up. And it very much seems like that after playing them as well.
Absolutely. And you know what? I mean, it's difficult to say, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, Leeds are a much bigger club than Norwich, and we shouldn't, we wouldn't. I don't think we, as a fan base, would accept that.
No.
So it is difficult to kind of, but I think that's hard. I think that's hard as a season ticket holder at Norwich to accept that, to be literally going, oh, we'll have one season where it's brilliant because you'll win virtually every game because it'll be the Championship, and then the next season, literally, right now they don't even compete.
No, but
they're not competing in the games.
But if you look at how football is from a commercial point of view, do you accept it in that you have that one good year, but you need that bad year to then supply that good year and keep supplying that? Maybe they'll have a year where they build a team that's able to sort of carry on for a few years in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But you've got to really, while you're at a stature of Norwich, you've got to be really good at doing that and have like a kind of golden generation of a team that can do that. Because you look at every team that's sort of gone up, and I don't really want to bring us into that, and they say about the second season syndrome, but those teams that have gone up that have been sort of said as brilliant for going up, your Sheffield United, your Huddersfield Towns that had that really good first year.
Yeah.
But
everyone was saying about Brentford, the way that Brentford started this season. They were talking about them, in the same breath. I know they've had a couple of bad results since. But you're right. It's funny you should say that, though.
But then that's the other side of it as well. It's just sort of coming in my mind that if you are Norwich and the sort of plan is to go back down, is it easier just to give up earlier because that's what they're trying? Well, the plan is for anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go up with like a Brentford or a Huddersfield or Sheffield United, I guess as well, that have sort of come from in effect nowhere, not been in the Premier League for a good amount of years or for a long time or whatever, can you then sort of, do they start well because of I can't think of the right word, the sort of the euphoria of getting up there and you're sort of riding on that wave?
Yeah.
That sort of makes you sort of have that good start.
Yeah. And it is strange because you can't really, I mean, we obviously rode on that last year, but we also did that behind closed doors. You know what I mean? And it's what makes that, at the end of the day, there was I suppose there were a mixture of players that had been at Leeds for a long time, so probably got to see what it was like. But, as fans, you go, well, we've had 16 years in the wilderness. And we're back where we belong. But none of those players were there 16 years ago. So they don't, you know what I mean? It's like, without the fans, how did that equate to the way it is? And I honestly don't think the way that we kind of outperformed last season and probably overperformed is all to do with that. I think there's a multitude of factors that fed into that. Yeah. But yeah, it is quite funny to do that. I mean, there's a lot of what we're talking about there, the parallels between Leeds kind of coming up and Norwich being this yo-yo club is actually covered. There's quite a good article in the Athletic that Phil Hay has written. So, and you can take advantage of subscription to the Athletic because they do very kindly support us on this podcast. Is it 50% off still? Is that the offer?
I think so. Yeah.
So if you go into theathletic.com/talking Shutt, put in your deets there and you'll be able to get 50% off a subscription and read not just that article, but every article that Mr. Hay puts out. And we all know how, what a valued journalist and great servant to the club he is, as well as all other stuff. And there's loads of stuff. I'm massively into American football. There's some great stuff on there at the minute as well. Check out that. Is that all there is to say about the Norwich game, Ben?
Yeah, I think I've forgotten most of it.
Good to see drama come on. I'll add it into Shithouse. I've just remembered. The fiasco about him coming on. But yeah, obviously we saw him make his debut against Arsenal for Leeds last week. But there's obviously his Premier League bow as well. So
I guess in a way you've got to stick with loyalty in a way with Shackleton. But I think we need players in their specific positions while we're so limited.
Yeah,
I think that helps a lot, and I don't think Drama's done anything to not sort of play that. Maybe you have to protect a younger lad, and we did that against Arsenal really well as a team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. I think I'd have just played him because just what he offers as a right back.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the whole sort of sense of the position.
Do you know what I like about him? And he did this a number of times against Arsenal. He tackles.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
And you know what? Firpo does it as well.
Yeah.
The amount of times fullbacks in the Premier League will just, especially when we've got a good player against him. And Firpo did this against Salah a few times as well. If it looks like he can win the ball, he'll put his foot in and challenge. I like that. And I know you'll probably come undone a few times against the better players and everything like that. But you won't always get beat in that occasion. And if you win the ball back, then Drama did that against that Martinelli quite a few times against Arsenal.
Yeah.
You probably covered it.
If you don't tackle, then he's probably going to beat you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. All you're going to do is just go backwards, and then all of a sudden you're in your own area, and then you can't. You're scared to throw your foot in then. But I like that about Drama. So moving on then. What are we going to do?
Under 23s?
Under 23s. Did you watch any of it?
No, I didn't.
I didn't either. But
what day were that? Monday night? Tuesday night?
Yeah.
Last night?
Last night, Tuesday night, yeah, in the Pizza Cup.
I didn't get home till late, so yeah, I didn't, yeah.
Yes. Knocked out by Salford City. 5-3, I think the final score was.
Yeah, I saw some of the highlights, actually. There's a good setup from Joffrey.
From Joffrey, yeah. I think that was the Greenwood goal, wasn't it? Where he makes a brilliant touch from the left-hand side. Great touch inside, and then just sweeps it across, and Greenwood puts it in. I think that was to make it 2-2 at that stage. I think we'd gone 1-0 up. Then went down to 2-1. That was 2-2. I don't know the rest of it. But yeah, Raven reports. I didn't watch it, I must admit. Raven reports for both Joffrey and Bate last night.
Yeah, the good goal from Bate, which ran the length of the pitch. Yeah.
Reminiscent of, I've seen this a few times today. I don't know why, but Fabian Delph at Brighton that time. Can you remember that?
Yeah.
He ran the full length of the pitch and put it in. I don't know what it was, but I've seen that goal on Twitter a few times today. I don't know whether it's in the anniversary of it or what, but I don't know whether it was similar or not, but yeah, as soon as anyone talks about a Leeds midfielder going virtually the full length of the pitch, I always remember that goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, so disappointing, but a much better showing in that competition than last season, where we pretty much played some really young kids, didn't we? And didn't even get out of the
Yeah,
group games.
I think you know
Didn't we
when
lost 7-0 once? I think, didn't we?
possibly, yeah, but
6 or 7-0 in one of the games.
when you're putting a team out and the numbers are 68 and 73 and all that, then yeah, they're going to be some really young lads. And it's good to see. I like to see that we've given it a bit of a go, which we didn't seem to do last year. Maybe the team weren't ready to give it a go in a competition like that. But yeah, it's good to see now, like a team like that, and it'd be good to like get a game against like a Sheffield Wednesday or something like that in a big ground, and that they're the kind of games that younger lads need to be playing.
Yeah.
And so they can get that sort of step up, because that's the huge sort of, I guess, problem that they go from 23s football straight into the Premier League, and it's not as competitive. But we have seen a lot of younger players come through in the Premier League sort of the last couple of years. So
yeah, absolutely. We're saying that though, in the Premier League 2, we saw a big crowd on Friday night for the game against. I can't remember who we played.
Wasn't that a cup game?
I'm not sure.
They would play were it Arsenal in the cup?
Yeah,
I don't know. I didn't
there was
watch
nearly 9,000 at Ellen Road for that.
Yeah.
So,
but and it's a good. While we're sort of selling out every week and tickets are hard to get, they're the kind of games that it's good to get sort of kids going to the cheap, and you can get kids in there and there'll be a decent sort of atmosphere. I remember when I must have been like 8 or 9. With the team with Paul Robinson and Woodgate, that youth team that went, I think they went on all the way to, I might even won it, I can't remember, one of the youth cups or whatever, and it was good to go to them games.
Yeah,
and see. To me, to a kid, it's just Leeds United still in it. It doesn't matter whether it's 23s or whatever. And yeah, if you can't get to a proper game, it's good to get kids into it and go into games like that.
Absolutely. So I'm sure we'll see some more nights like that at Ellen Road, and like I say, it'd be good to go in there and it will improve those performances and for those young lads who haven't made the first team yet, because it must be daunting, like you say, to go from one level where you're playing, at training grounds and things like that, to then all of a sudden 36,000 at Ellen Road. It'd be good to kind of at least play in front of a bit of a kind of intermediary atmosphere in between that and aid their progression into that. So
some Premier League grounds it wouldn't be much of a difference if you're playing at local park. But yeah.
So moving on, we have another game before yet another international break, which I can't quite believe. It just seems that this is the third one since the season started after it. But so we're going to be playing Leicester on Sunday, 2:00 kickoff. We were talking about this beforehand. Leicester have played a lot of football already this season because of their European escapades, and I think that's why we're playing on Sunday, isn't it? Because they play tomorrow night. They've got Spartak Moscow. Yes. I think counting up, they'll have played maybe 18 games before this, whereas Leeds, I think this is our 14th.
10 plus 3 in the...
Yeah. So Leeds will be playing 14th. I think this might be Leicester's 19th game of the season. So a lot more football that's been played with them. Do you think that is some of maybe why they're a bit inconsistent? Because they're all over the shop if you look at their form. Some really good results, beating Scum 4-2. When I say really good results, they only beat Leicester. They only beat Norwich 2-1 at Norwich, so similar to us there.
Lost to Arsenal the last Premier League game.
They're
on a decent kind of run out there, so Arsenal. So
Brentford before that, and so was Scum.
We were talking about it before, and I'm not as worried as this time last year when we played them. They was very... we all had the Vardy fear, didn't we? Vardy was literally on fire.
Yeah.
And I'm not as I mean, famous last words, isn't he? I'm not as worried this year with his form.
You've
said
it.
He's Jamie Vardy, and it could always happen against maybe a defence like ours with how we play as well. But I think for the most, I just want to see us do Leeds United things again.
Yes.
Which is what it seems to be every other game with that now. So I think before Watford, we said we want to see Leeds United play like Leeds United. And I guess, is it just a home thing or something? Because there's two sort of best performances have been Watford and Wolves.
Wolves, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we seem to struggle away. We have struggled away from home. There's no doubt about it. And I mean, even like that Arsenal game, I think first half, did some really good stuff in that game.
Yeah.
We just couldn't put it together. Second half, they just up their tempo, and we just couldn't compete with it. But yeah, definitely, I think we have played better at home this season. So that I think that will definitely be in our favour on Sunday. You're right. It was this time last year, wasn't it, that we played him at Ellen Road, and did that finish 3-1 or 4-1 in the end?
4-1. I think they beat
4-1. But yeah, I mean, it could have been 4-0 at half time. It was only 2-0 in the end, wasn't it, at half time? But yeah, that first 45 was a bit of a scary 45 minutes for us. And yeah, they just seemed absolutely on fire.
But we're a bit sort of different to last year at the moment, where as we're not players up, but we're not as. I don't think we're as leaky sort of defensively. We seem a lot more solid defensively.
Yeah.
But we just can't seem to get in control of a game.
Yeah. Or,
whereas
not so much even control of the game. We don't seem to be fluid attacking at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas
this time last year when we played Leicester, attacking wasn't a problem, and all right, we only scored one against them. I think they defended quite well, but we was always sort of making chances, weren't we?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. We were making chances, and that's the thing. And I said obviously I missed last week, but it was the Wolves game, and I turned to my mate who I go with, and I was really fed up because it was like it just seems for us to do so much to try and score a goal. You know what I mean? It just seems so much effort just to create a goal scoring opportunity. Whereas one little mistake at the back, and they just presented with a great opportunity, and they score. And it's just frustrating at the minute. We just don't seem to be fluid going forward at all. And we've had it in the past where we have been fluid and we still haven't put it away. You know what I mean? But we don't seem to be doing that. We're not like missing our chances. We just don't seem to be creating many chances, and that's the thing about it. But obviously, we hope that we can rectify that on Sunday. Shall we have a bit of an update on the predictions?
Raggy's predictor.
So it was. Everyone was quite confident last week, but nobody was quite as pessimistic to think that we'd only win by a 1-goal margin. So I think you all went for 3-0. I'd gone for a 2-0. So everyone just gets 1 point. So that still puts Mike the Bastard out in the lead on 13.
Well, I'm guessing you didn't listen the week you were off because you got christened the Bastard as well.
Did I? Well, yeah. And it just cements that I'm definitely the bastard because I didn't listen to either, so.
Because you got 3 points the week before, didn't you, for the...
I said, Arsenal 2, Leeds United 0, and got 3 points.
Yeah.
Which does feel,
yes,
in hindsight, feels incredibly dirty, yeah.
So we christened you the Bastard last week.
Yeah, I'll take it. So, yeah. So yeah, Mike's still in the lead on 13. Then in joint second is yourself, Ben, on 9, and me, the Bastard, also on 9. Gary bringing up the rear on 7. So we have asked in their absence for their predictions of the Leicester City game, and both Gaz and Mike have gone for a 2-1 Leeds United victory. How do you see it going, Ben?
I was going to go the same, to be honest, but I'm going to go 2-0 victory for Leeds. Just to be a bit different.
Yeah.
I can do a clean sheet would be really nice. A 2-0 victory and a clean sheet.
It would be nice.
That'd be really nice.
And
it kind of... So if we win on Sunday, we go 1 point away from Leicester, who are 11th. And it's a bit crazy to think that
is crazy,
how we've had this really bad start to the season, and it takes us that close to a team. Granted, they've played a lot of football, like we said, but they are kind of looking to try and push into the Champions League.
Yeah.
I guess if you're a Leicester fan at the beginning of the season, that's where you're looking for them to sort of
that's your target,
move into.
Yeah. That's your target, 100%. No, you're right. I mean, it is very condensed at that, across the board. I mean, we're on 10 now, aren't we? There's two other teams on 10 points, so it's only the fact that our goal difference is inferior. But look at that. One of those teams is Aston Villa. At the beginning of the season, everyone was harping on about what a brilliant piece of genius this was. Selling Grealish for 100 million. Look at the players they've brought in for that money, and they're going to be, this is going to be a great season for them. Well, we're on the same points as them now.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden people talking about Dean Smith is, he's under pressure for his job. So it's condensed, absolutely. I'm going to pour a load of cold water over all this, though, and I don't think
be a bastard.
I'm going to be I'm not going to be a complete bastard. I'll just be like a minor bastard. I'm going to say 1-1. I'd love us to win. I'm worried a bit at the minute. I think we are.
We need to be
seriously
on top of our game.
Bamford.
Yeah.
I really do.
Could Bamford be back? Is he?
I hope so. I hope he's back to maybe play some part of it. I think he has missed quite a bit of football now. When was the last time he played? He pulled.
It does seem like a long time. It
is a long time ago when you think about it. Was Newcastle the last time he played?
Was it the September? No, it wasn't the first. Was it the beginning of October where he went to the?
Yeah, the internationals, which was where he
no,
played
it wasn't because Phillips
Andorra.
missed the last one. He was there with Phillips the one before, so it was the September. And was it just after that he got injured?
He definitely played at Newcastle. And then he didn't.
Was it Newcastle he got injured?
Yeah, I think so. Because then the next game was Fulham in the cup. He didn't play in that game, but and then he didn't play against West Ham. That was the next game. So Newcastle have been the last. So he's missed in terms of league games. He's missed West Ham, Watford, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. Missed a lot of football. I can't see him. I mean, we'll have to. Remains to be seen. I don't know whether he would, if he was fit enough, be able to start. That's a long time off. But I do think we miss him.
On the. Yeah, definitely we miss. Yeah, as a focal point, and I think the team. As another thing, as the team that we don't have that number 9 striker as a release and a target as such. As much as he's not a target man, he is the target for us going forward, and we try to then overplay and not really get anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas, like I say, with Harrison, it's different between if you're playing Rodrigo up front and Bamford up front. You don't get that sort of in the last line, sort of as Bamford would be going for a header if you're crossing the ball in early with Rodrigo, because he's usually set sort of a bit further back.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to go back onto the Premier League table where we're 2 points off the two teams that have been raved about in Brentford and Palace.
Yeah.
And that kind of shocked me when I looked at the table. I thought the way that they've been talked about this season, and to see that we're 2 points away from them with the bad start that we've had, again, it's crazy.
Yeah, that is mad, isn't it? That is mad. So, yeah. But
And
yeah,
then Wolves, who I didn't think were great against us,
well,
and we should have
no,
beaten. They're up at 7th now.
but that's it. You can't. It's become almost like the championship in a way. You've got your kind of bigger team,
Yeah,
your big teams that you kind of expect, but even then, some of them are having, you look at your Spurs, you look at Scum to a certain extent. They're not going out and winning games at the minute. Their results are all over. But you look at like the likes of Watford. We dicked them. It was 1-0, but we dicked them. Obviously, they sacked the manager. The next thing you've got, I think 2 games later, they're going and scoring 5 at Everton.
yeah,
Wolves, like you say, I think we were comfortably the better side against Wolves. They've scored an early goal and then tried to defend and shithouse the way out of it. We definitely didn't deserve to lose the game. We should have, in my opinion, deserved to win the game. And then they beat Everton as well, where Everton came to Ellen Road and they looked decent, and we put in a good performance and managed to get it. Really strange. It's just straight. Everyone seems to be, it's like that championship thing again, where cut the bigger sides out. Everyone else seems to be able to get results against each other, and that might make it quite easy if you get on a bit of a run of form.
yeah.
I mean, you look at our upcoming games, and that might be difficult to do, but you win 3 games in a row, you'll rocket up the league. You've seen that with Wolves.
Oh yeah.
You've seen that with Wolves. I mean,
Yeah, three games puts us into 19 points, which is pretty much sort of 5th and 6th.
yeah, exactly.
Granted, other teams are going to win, but
yeah,
it's a big leap.
It is. So yeah, we'll have to see how we go on that. Time for another one of our sponsors, Ben. Have you been using your Manscaped products recently?
I had to charge mine up the other day, actually. I've been using it that much. Yeah, I had to put it on charge.
Well, you must be, because out of all the things that I'm most impressed with, the length of the battery is really good.
Yeah.
I've got a beard. I've had in the past a beard trimmer which, doesn't literally one kind of go on the beard and you have to recharge it. Whereas Manscaped, absolutely no problem at all. Keep reusing it before the charge goes. So yeah, that's been really good. So yeah, still enjoying it then. Still enjoying it. Enjoying is probably the wrong word, but yeah, it's a good bit of kit, isn't it?
Well, no, but I went for the same thing. You buy the sort of all the basic ones that are out there, and you can get fancy sort of Babyliss one with the head that moves up and down. I had one of them at one point, and none of them have been as good as the Manscaped one.
Yeah, no, it's definitely worth that. Yeah, definitely worth a little bit extra, I think. And you can get yours as well. You can get 20% off. You get an array of goodies with the kit. The latest version, which is what the 4.0. You get the weed whacker, you get the ball deodorant, all that kind of stuff. Nice little carry case to go with it. Get yourself on there. Use the offer code ShavingShut at checkout, which will allow you to get 20% off and free shipping anywhere in the world. I can honestly say, coming up, we've got the likes of Christmas and everything like that. Great gift for your loved ones as well. So yeah, check that out. Okay. I think it's time for Shithouse.
If my mouse would work.
Shithouse of the week.
First one in there, that's my mouse for Shithouse of the week,
Yeah,
because it just didn't want to move.
Ben's mouse for being a shithouse. So I'll run them through, and then we can embellish on them a little bit more. COVID-19 still not going anywhere, and I know recently someone close to this podcast has been quite badly affected with members of the family. Yeah. The Europa League, I've only put that in there just because the fact that Leicester game has been moved to Sunday. It's not even on telly. But yeah, the fact that it's moved from a 3 o'clock kickoff to a 2 o'clock Sunday, not brilliant. It's not even on tally. And that's only because Leicester are playing in the Europa League tomorrow. I just wanted to talk about it again. That's why I've put him in there. Tim Krul. He's a shithouse, always has been. Just wanted to laugh at the fact that
Rafinha gave him a good sort of bit of a payback, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He did. After which is brilliant because Rafinha wasn't even in that team that he was talking about.
Yeah, we weren't even in this league then, were we?
And,
Krull had put a thing about Leeds aren't that special or something like that.
Something like they're not Barcelona. Like, it's not like they're Barcelona or something. That was
Rafinha's put
Bielsa's
on
first season.
Yeah, Rafinha's put on Instagram. No, we aren't Barcelona. We're Leeds United.
Yeah,
which I think went down very well.
Love it. Also on the Norwich bent, a certain Chris Sutton, Ben, because I'll let you embellish on this. Your little story.
So I got invited on to 5 Live 606 on Saturday night to do a little sort of Chris Sutton Gone in 60 Seconds feature, I think they call it, where you get so many questions that they ask you and you've got to sort of give an answer and you've got to be better than the other fan of the team you're playing or whatever. So we were obviously against the Norwich fan. And I got sort of called out for having a slow start because I let the guy introduce himself first. So I was just being nice. And I thought, well, they're the home team, he can go first.
It's just a bit of Yorkshire hospitality for you, that's well.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then I'm thinking, I ain't going to win this anyway because who did Chris Sutton used to play for?
Exactly, I think he's quite a bit
Norwich,
biased, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So regardless of every answer that I give, pretty much just ruined the Norwich fan. I think he gave it to the Norwich fan because Chris Sutton played for Norwich.
Yeah. So
he can be shithouse.
That's definitely shithouse behaviour. I'll say that one absolutely. And then the third, the last one. I just thought about this when we were talking about that. What the fuck was going on when Jamie Shackleton got injured, and then they actually stopped him from coming off the field? What's that all about?
Yeah, it was weird, wasn't it? Because it was like he was limping, and the referee wanted him to play on.
Yeah.
And surely that's like dangerous.
Exactly. I didn't understand it at all. He was clearly injured, and as a consequence of that injury, we had prepared Cody Drum to come on.
Yeah.
At that point, why? What is the referee thinking, or the fourth official, or whoever it is blocking that substitution? It's not like he's delaying the game.
And it was kind of like they've said,
he's going to make
play
a
on.
substitution.
Yeah, play on. He's injured. Go down that side.
Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. It genuinely was ridiculous. So I didn't understand that at all. But as soon I must admit, I was watching the game with my good lady, and as the teams lined up at the beginning and the camera panned and it was Anthony Taylor, I let out an audible groan to which Beck went, "Why? What's up?" And I was just like, "Anthony fucking Taylor," and he just, I mean. The guy is just a...
You shouldn't have to do that where it comes to the referee and you're thinking... I mean, I guess it's gone on for football for decades and years, like centuries maybe, that you think when you get the referee and you think, oh, this isn't going to go well.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was...
and he shouldn't have to... Yeah.
He just doesn't seem to ever want to judge our games fairly, in my opinion. Just every single time, there's always something.
Yeah.
There is always something, and in that game particularly as well, the consistency. It just goes down to that every time. He seemed at the beginning of the game to let things go. You know, he wasn't going to give kind of little kind of niggly kind of fouls either way, and he wanted to let that flow. Right, that's fine, but you set your stall out, but you've got to keep it the same for both teams. But he didn't. Because all of a sudden then, I mean, I think when we were talking about that stat about Calvin being dribbled past 6 times in that game, I'm sure I saw a comment beneath it that said, yeah, there were about 3 quite clear, well-won shoulder barges which were giving us fouls. Whether that actually equates to to being dribbled past or not, or whether that's not part of this. But it was the same. It just seemed to be so one-sided. So yeah, he gets a nomination. So
I've added one.
Go on
then. The argument of driving and flying to Norwich. Now, as a human being who has driven to Norwich away, I am all for the team not wasting the best part of what could be 8 to 10 hours there and back.
Yeah.
Driving to Norwich. There's a lot more things they could do with their time, more training or more comfort or whatever.
Yeah.
To fly down there, because that drive is absolutely awful.
Absolutely awful. Absolutely horrendous. Probably the worst place to get to in the whole of the UK from here. Just an awful.
I mean,
awful.
the drive down there isn't too bad because you're sort of excited for the game, and it's the drive back. And I went back. I think we was in the Championship. We had Kasper Schmeichel in there. I think we drew 1-1. And at that point, I think we both come up. I think we both just come up, and between us, I thought either of us could go up, and I thought we were the better side.
Yeah.
But then to drive back from Norwich, and you just keep going and going, and you're thinking, as soon as I hit the A1 with sound, it's like the home straight in a way.
Yeah.
But it takes forever to get there.
To get to there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's awful.
Yeah.
So if they want to fly, and
let them.
We're in COP26 week, I don't mind that.
No. Give them that. Yeah.
It's not. I'd rather Leeds United be more rested than the environment at this point. It's not going to make that much of a difference.
No, it's not. Definitely not. So yeah. No, you're right there. You're right. So, just to recap, COVID-19, Europa League, Tim Krul, Chris Sutton, driving or flying to Norwich, and Anthony Taylor. What gets you vote, Ben?
I'm going to go personally and go Chris Sutton, because he's done me over.
Well, I'll back you up on that then. I'll back you up. Else we'll be at loggerheads. So, yeah. Chris Sutton, you can have, for your pro-Norwich bias, you can have Shithouse of the week.
They had to win something this weekend, didn't they?
Yeah, exactly. They certainly weren't going to do anything on the football pitch. Well, that leads us just to discuss our third and final sponsor of the week, which are the guys at the Terrace. We haven't got Mike, the Terrace bastard, to talk us through it, but you know the drill by now. Get yourself all your Leeds United kit stuff, mugs, everything like that. Like I say, coming up to Christmas.
Notebooks.
They've
released notebooks today. I saw that, and I'm tempted to get one.
Yeah.
One of my customers.
You could scribble down your Talking Shithouse nominations in there.
Yeah.
Could do. Absolutely. Go in there. theterracestore.com. There's still raggy mugs. Please get them.
Talking Shutt mugs, which I dropped one of mine the other day. I was devastated.
You never did.
When you're emptying the dishwasher, I dropped it. I thought that better not. I had a couple in my hand, and one of them just slipped out. And it was the Talking Shutt one, so I'm gonna have to get a new one out.
You'll have to get yourself on there. There's a little bit that goes to charity as well every time a Talking Shutt mug gets sold. So yeah, go and do your bit. They've always helped us out. So yeah, doing some great stuff. Get yourself on there and check them out. Anything else for you to add this week, Ben? I'll take it you'll be going to the game on Sunday.
Yes, I'll be at the game on Sunday. And then I'm going on holiday again. So yeah,
international break, Ben.
Yeah, well, you've got to make the most of it, haven't you?
Absolutely. Where are you going?
Hopefully, Spain, like all down the coast.
Nice.
So yeah, should be good. Hopefully we get a win. I think it'd be good for everything if we get a win. Good moves up the table. Put some worries behind us, and 2 wins in a row. It'd be very, very good.
Build a platform and move on up. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us, everybody. If you do watch this on YouTube, we're after 1,000 subscribers now. We're just nearly there, aren't we, Ben? So if you don't subscribe,
I think we're a couple off.
So if you don't already subscribe, get us subscribed. You've got a Facebook group to mention, haven't you?
Yeah, Jay Patel from All Leeds Aren't Weak Facebook group. It's the biggest Facebook group on Leeds United Facebook group on Facebook. So if you're not already a member of that, get joined on that. It'll have our videos on every week and stuff like that.
Good stuff. Excellent. Yeah.
And loads of Leeds United discussion.
Get yourself involved. So that leads us to just say one more thing, and that's I'll say it.
Said it.